What's he doing, Mark?
I don't know, it's your computer, isn't it?
And here we are at the Polling IT Club.
Yes. Yeah. Sunbeam catalogue.
Annual meeting.
So that is the drive side of the engine. You have two of those on there. It should be the same number. I have to get my glasses. Questions we've got are... Are the valve sizes 1 3/4 intake and exhaust? What valves are you using? 3/8 stems, of course, which they are. Is the piston a Torsk as shown below, which it isn't? Are the new mains 2 M22Ls and ball bearings on the primary as well? How are you inserting the inner races on the M22Ls? Well, the M22Ls, these are obviously, these aren't M22Ls, they're different, because you can, I think the M22Ls were split bearings. Some say lip outboard, some to shrink them onto the crank and set the lips inwards, shimming behind as you would expect. But this doesn't have that. So all we can do is show them what we've got, you know?
Okay.
So the bearings we've got, find the buried pen. So on our drive side, they are Hoffman. There's no overall part number. So it's Hoffman L10 V2 by the looks of it. L10 V2. So that's got two different bearings in it. Obviously, like I say, we've got to replace them all anyway. That's a Skefco, whatever that is. I've never heard of them. Made in England. But go with that one. That's a good size. That fits nicely. So you can feel them. They're not good. And the bearing on the other side, on the primary drive side, or timing side, FBC, and it's an MCF 22, which is probably a different version of that M22L maybe. Who knows? Right, so what did we want to know? Oh right, the piston, that was it. How the bearings are fitted, well you can see how they're fitted on ours. So that's all he needs to know, isn't it? The valve sizes I've written down for him, so I've measured those already. They are 1 3/4 each. Inlet and exhaust. 3/8 stems. Right, piston he was asking about. Our piston is a specialoid. I can only give him what information I've got. I mean, this might not be original to the bike, I don't know, but it certainly fits very well. And it's the right dome top with the piston with the valve cutouts.
Okay.
And it is 80mm, but it's on a +40, so it would be slightly larger. You can see I'm going to have to take some material out of here. I haven't checked any of this yet, it's only just been thrown together and make sure we've got all the parts. Information of who made it all. Marston Sunbeam Club. Club spares and parts. They recast a lot of, so in that you can get your valves, your valve springs, your hairpin valve springs, new exhaust castings. Does quite a few bits, but the guy's name, Chris Odling, that's the guy, yeah. He will make valves, valve guides, valve springs, new collets.
Okay.
So, but from what this guy needs, then that should do him. But he's a very, very helpful guy.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. Really nice guy. Ah, right, this isn't put together properly at all. But basically, that's your gearbox shell. Your clutch sits on there, yeah? So that's driven by the engine. There's a plate that goes on there, which on a 95L would have a kickstart ratchet on it, but on a 95R it doesn't. So that will sit on there, like that, yeah?
Okay.
We've got the clutch bridge, I've got some cork plates, I've got some plain plates. But there's what's called there should be an inner clutch basket which goes in there, yeah?
Okay.
Fits in there, and those 6 springs, that's your clutch pressure. Okay? So there's an inner clutch basket which we're missing completely, and on the front of the crankshaft, no, it isn't in there, Mark. Anyway, it's called a cush drive. Goes on the front of the crank and drives a chain that goes around the clutch there.
Okay.
So we're missing all of that as well. And then it's rear set parts, because we're turning it into a 95R. Oh, there you go, look. We've got to get mudguards, clutch, handlebar controls, front cush drive, handlebar grips, knee pads, rims, speedo we've got, which is rarer than rocking horse poo, carb we can buy, mag we can buy, brake pedal I can probably make. We've got all the plans for it here. Chris Odling also supplied all this. So that's the mounting bracket, goes on the top of the forks that Chris supplied. Primary drive chain cover, so that where that clutch basket sits in there.
Okay.
And that's your primary drive with that cast. This is the rarer than rocking horse poo bit. That's the speedo face.
Nice.
I'd say anything above that first line at 45 will scare the crap out of you, let alone go 90 on it.
So this present moment, is there anything else specific that you would be looking for?
It's just clutch really, isn't it, more than anything? Clutch and cush drive, everything else I can get made, or I can make.
Okay.
Even if we could borrow one for someone, we could get one fabricated.
Okay.
So that would help.
Okay.
Because as it stands, we've got nothing to actually go on. So that's the issue. Because the other thing is, because the R is different to the L, the setup's different. So
See, one has cork plates and the other one has what they call Ferodo linings, so it's a dry clutch, not a wet clutch. So if we go in the other unit, I can lay these out then. A lot of walking around this one.
Getting your steps in?
Yeah, 10,000 a day. It's hard to explain, but because on a normal bike you have your foot pegs come up,
Okay.
but this has got all the pedals are further back, rear sets, so you've got to make all your bits for it. So that's your near side frame clamp, which just holds it, and then that will hold your rear footrest and the back of that aluminium chain guard casing.
Yeah.
That's the dimensions for the rear brake pedal and the cross shaft and your arm. So at least I've got drawings, you know what I mean, so I can get stuff made. I've got good engineers. So that's for your brake pedal, because normally on a Sunbeam the brake pedal's a forward facing one. It pivots off the front of the frame where the engine's mounted,
Yeah.
and you just put your foot down on it like that. But this is all completely different. It's rod instead of cable as well. That's your M90 95R footrest hanger 1931 on. And there's a plan view or an overall view of what everything does. So that's your frame with your gearbox mounts. Those two holes are already there. So you get that plate, put that hanger on it. That's your brake cross tube. That's your brake lever. That plate, and then that clamp there. Yeah, is that. So then we've got dimensions of, see that plate there?
Mhm.
That's that and that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's your pivot bar. is your brake arm stop, which you've got there, and that is your gear lever. So they're all the bits we've got to get made, but it looks horrendous, but that ain't the end of the world, you know.
Yeah.
It's just basic, well, basic, but it's just engineering, you know. It's not like, because you've got something to copy, it's not an issue. But the clutch and the cush drive, we haven't got anything. We've got spare engines in there with spare crankshafts, but they're taper drive, not tooth drive, and things like that. So,
Okay. It's really useful, isn't it?
yeah, like I say, that Chris is a really nice guy, really helpful, you know. Charged us £35 for that set of drawings, that's nothing,
No.
you know. I mean, down to like, this isn't like, most people go, oh, it's half inch, that's 620 thou, and that's 895 thou. You know, it's...
Very specific.
Yeah.
Next week on the workshop.
Basically, what somebody's done, by the looks of things, is taken it all apart, put new pistons and new rings and everything in it, so they're all nice and tight, put it together, and forgotten to put number 5 big end bearing in.
Oh, okay.
So there's nothing there at all. There's no traces of it in the bottom of the sump, there's no bits of metal, nothing.